Why did it? Let me see why it took her off the spotlight. She was up there.
Yeah, there she is.
There she goes. It's 6. I can have 6 people spotlit at one time, which is perfect.
Yeah. Yes, I don't want to start 1 minute early. So, oh, it is now 1:30. So welcome, everybody. Hopefully we're all doing well. I would like to call the meeting to order for the Racing Commission on the 20th of August, 2026. Okay, first of all, I'll call to order. Karen, could you do a roll call, please?
Yes, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, my name is Karen Parkman, and I serve as the Director of Administration for the agency. Today in attendance, we have Chair Doherty.
Here.
Vice Chair Barry.
Here.
Commissioner Fowler.
Here.
Commissioner Stein.
Here.
And Commissioner Kinsley.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we got 2 approvals. First of all, the meeting agenda. You should have all received a revised agenda, I believe, yesterday, I think. So, Director Nguyen, do you have your hand up?
Yes, now let me see if I can take it down. We have thank you, Karen Parkman, for bringing it to my attention that we failed to note that we had a hearing on 6/23 at 10 and 10:30 for 462-120-001 and 462-130-005. We'll be voting on those later, and I'll discuss that at that point, but those should be added to the agenda.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Just make sure that it's, if you point that out to us. Is that under new business?
It is under, yes, new business.
Okay, so when we get there, if you could bring that up, I would appreciate it. Okay, so do we have an motion to approve the agenda as revised?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as devised.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, Director Barry, Commissioner Barry moves and Commissioner Fowler seconds. All those in favor, say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the agenda is approved. The next thing is we have on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the last meeting that we had last month. Are there any changes, additions, corrections? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to accept?
I move we
I'll
accept.
make a motion to accept.
Okay, Commissioner Stein moves to accept and Commissioner Barry seconds.
Perfect.
Okay, all those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. Okay, so the next thing we have is old business. And so Director Nguyen, you have your report.
Yes, one moment. I don't know why I pulled everything up in the world, but I didn't pull that up. This gives us everybody a chance to get their coffee and whatever they need to do, right?
I know.
I can't believe it's August already.
I know. Well, Commissioner Barry, hopefully it's the atmosphere is okay where you are.
It's very pleasant out here in outer space.
I saw that. You look like you are.
I appreciate you catching that, Chair Doherty.
Yes.
I would think it might be a little cold in our space. All right. Good afternoon, Chair Doherty and members of the commission. For the record, my name is Connie Nguyen, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Oregon Racing Commission. Since my last full director's report in June, our team has been very active. Although we held an emergency meeting in July, this is our first opportunity to provide a comprehensive update. Since we have last met, we have concluded both the Crooked River Roundup and the Tillamook County Fair meets. All fair meets will present their reports and we'll discuss those more in the commission meeting in September. And the commercial meet, HRA, which is our grants pass in the fall, will report in November. We received approval to move forward with our LC. I wrote LC 462, but they actually gave it another number. I forgot what it is, which combines several updates, actually only 2 updates to our statutory authority. Those updates would extend the length of time a license may be suspended from 1 year to 5 years, increase the maximum fine the commission may impose.
And just for clarification, LC is legislative concept.
Yes, sorry. LC is a legislative concept. It becomes a legislative concept. And then at some point, we'll have approval and they will turn it into a bill. It has been approved by the governor's office, so we're just waiting for it to officially become a bill. It actually came across, we played this game of catch up when they'll send us a bill for how much the legislative concept cost. And we have to pay it as quick as we can because then they'll release the actual wording of the bill and we have to make sure it's exactly right and send it right back to them. I've been a little concerned about that because I'm getting ready to take a vacation, but we got it yesterday, got it paid. Thanks, Karen, for that quick turnaround. And have the bill and it's already been approved and the language, the tentative bill, to go on and become an actual bill. So that's done. We don't have to worry about that. We have also been notified by eBet Technologies, one of our online wagering providers and a wholly owned subsidiary of BetMakers, that they are being acquired by Tabcorp Holdings LTC. The reported value of the acquisition is approximately $264 million. We believe this transition will provide significant support to one of our smallest ADWs and anticipate meaningful growth as a result. We're currently conducting preliminary background checks and will require an on-site audit prior to the close of the acquisition. And lucky Micah, they're in Australia. Micah, I wish I had your job right now. That is, we've talked about several new partnerships. This is one that we were not expecting. So this is completely new from anything else that we've talked about in the past. In addition to these major items, the team is advancing several key initiatives, including so many. I'm just going to go over some of them. Updating procedures related to infectious disease. Thank you, Dr. Ross, for your work on that. Revamping our trainer study manual. I appreciate everybody's help on that. We had help from just about everybody, every department. Modernizing our continuity of operations plan and participation in the statewide cybersecurity tabletop exercise. Thank you, Micah, for coming down to Salem with me on that. That's a long trip for you. I appreciate it. We can continue to strengthen our regulatory framework, especially on the online wagering side. I have a number of ADWs that are working on some very specific language, which won't be ready for some time. It's a very complicated set of rules for our reveal games. And I want to thank those individuals who've been working on those for us. We will, of course, once we get them at a starting point, we will bring them to the commission. And of course, we'll do our advisory committee meeting and continue to take input from all of our constituents. Finally, we'll be out of the country the next 2 weeks on vacation. So if you need me, you better reach out to me before end of day tomorrow or rescind my vacation. And that concludes the report.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Yes, Commissioner Stein.
I don't know if this is appropriate in this part or possibly executive session, but has the commission been contacted regarding the wagering at Monmouth and Saratoga? I'll try to be cryptic.
We have not been. Micah, do you have any information on that? I think you may know something I don't know. Perhaps we can when we're in executive session. Micah?
Negative. Nothing has crossed my desk.
If it is confidential, maybe we can address that in executive session too. Thank you for bringing that up. We may have missed that. We're
Any other
usually pretty good at keeping an eye on that stuff, but we may have missed this one.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, Director Nguyen, thank you very much. It looks like we've got a very, very busy new business agenda, but part of it is actually just kind of one issue. But under the new business, first thing is we are going to discuss possible approval of the following rules, and there are 3 rules that we're doing. And so, Director Nguyen, if you want to go through and talk about that, they all have the same OAR 462, but it's 0010. 130,005 and 150,0010. So if you'd like to speak to those, each one of those, and then at the end, we will have discussion and approve the rules if that is what the will of the commission is.
Great. So going from top to bottom, all these rules we've seen and we've been working with for some time. The PII definition, we've been working, that's, everybody's seen that. We've had this is one of the ones I read off earlier that we had a hearing for. We have taken our public comment on that. This also redefines, in addition to the PII, personal identifiable information, I apologize. It also clarifies our intent on who needs to be licensed out of state. We did have a letter from FanDuel, and that is in your packet. That was the only communication we got that was opposed to it. If you have not read it, I'm glad to pull it up on the screen.
My arms are both good.
Somebody needs to mute their phone. I think that took care of it. So do you have any question on that first one?
Hey, Connie, just Commissioner Kinsley here. Just
Yes.
wanted to ask a couple clarifications associated with the letter from FanDuel. It doesn't look like they're necessarily against it, but they wanted different wording. How would the difference in the wording affect our intent associated with that rule?
Let me go down to their letter and see exactly what it has.
I can speak to that if you would like.
Go ahead.
That'd be great.
Michael Lloyd, Director of Mutuals. That letter is actually negates the intent of the rule change we're looking to do. The rule that we're looking to do is to narrow down the scope of regulatory bodies that we would accept reciprocity from.
Perfect. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay.
And
Great.
just to continue on that, the biggest problem that we found is our intent initially was to have it for horse racing jurisdictions. That was before we had so many entities that also do sports wagering. What we found is some of these regulatory bodies that don't do horse racing have been extremely slow to respond, require a lot of additional paperwork, and it was becoming an exponential burden on our licensing department to try to manage it. The majority of the ADWs that have dual licenses have them in one of 3 states, Pennsylvania, New York, and Kentucky. And we have really good relations with all of those, and we're working on a system to kind of streamline with that. So we feel that that is more realistic. If we did do something else, if we did expand it to other types, we'd have to probably charge some amount of money to be able to compensate for the additional time that we're taking, which they might as well get another license at that point.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, I think what we'll do is we will go through each one of these, and then at the end, we will vote on each one of these as to whether we are going to approve the rules. That's okay with people? Okay, so the next one is 462-130-0005.
And this one, we brought this one up to update our ability to test. That some of the language in the human testing that we have is very outdated. It's using outdated processes. So, for example, a lot of the testing now can be done with a swab instead of having to have to watch someone urinate, which obviously is from being in the Army when that was a normal thing to have us tested for. I can tell you, I would much rather have a swab. So some language around there and some more details. If you haven't read it, I'm glad to bring it up. If you have any questions on it, I'm glad to answer those. But this is to, again, provide a safer environment. And we really wanted to make clear that any type of intoxication at the track, even if it's legal marijuana or anything else that's clearly causing impairment, you cannot be touching horses. And that's really the intent of this.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
I'd like
Okay,
to
so
make a comment
basically
if I
just-
may.
Oh, yes, go ahead, please, Commissioner Berry.
I just want to say how much I appreciated, as Connie was working on this,
Thank you.
her attention to the dignity of the people who will be tested. I also have been woken up at 2 a.m. to pee in a cup in front of another person, and it was not my favorite experience ever.
Not fun.
No,
You're like, I don't have to go now.
Yeah.
45 minutes later, somebody's still staring at you. Yeah, I shouldn't go there, but I did.
yeah.
And
And
Commissioner
it's, I
Kinsley,
think
yeah,
that,
oh,
yes,
sorry.
Commissioner Kinsley.
This is something that exists already. It's just an update. So people,
This is a rule that we put together previously, but this is finally making it. This is the adoption, so we're actually adopting this rule now.
so we had public comment and all that associated with that a while ago.
Yes, this is
Okay.
one of the two that we had public comment for. I apologize for not mentioning that. Nobody showed up for that meeting. I was a
Okay,
little
any other
surprised.
questions? Yeah, any other questions on this one? Because it looks like what it is instead of doing urine, you're doing facial swabs. It's
That
basically
and
changing.
really emphasizing, more of, instead of a 0.80 alcohol, it's intoxic, any type of impairment. That's the bigger issue because we've
Got
seen
it.
people that were clearly impaired and they may not have alcohol on them. And this gives us more wiggle room to take action.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Okay, the last one on this before we go through and vote on each individual one is 462-150-0010, workday.
Yeah, and this one, we had this as a temporal. We didn't think we'd need it as a permanent rule. And then some time went by, and then Randy Bodine's like, yes, we still need that. So we put it back as a temporal again. And now we're finally going to make it official in the system. It's always been 40 days, 45 days, as long as I know, for the quarter horses. This is just updating it to make it match for the thoroughbreds.
Okay. Okay, any questions, any comments, commissioners? Okay, seeing none, if we want to go back up to the first one, which is 120-0010, do we have a motion to approve of the rule?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Commissioner
I'll
Fowler
second the
makes a
motion.
motion. Do we have a second? Okay, we've got Commissioner Berry spoke up first, but, okay, are there any questions? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I would say any opposed, but it is unanimous. Okay, the next one is OAR 462-130-0005, the human testing. Again, we need a motion.
I move we accept the rule as proposed.
I'll
Okay,
second.
Commissioner Stein and moves and Commissioner Fowler seconds. Any questions? Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye or raise your hand, or both.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it is unanimous. And then the last rule that we were voting on is 462-150-0010, the day change. Do we have a motion?
I move we accept that rule as proposed. 45
Okay,
day run
Commis-
works.
Okay,
A
Commissioner
second.
Stein moves that we accept the proposal and Commissioner Fowler seconds. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye or raise your hand or both.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it is unanimous. So those three rules have been adopted. The second thing we have is discussion and possible approval to begin the rulemaking process on the very long list that Director Nguyen is going to talk to, because a lot of it just ties in together. So it doesn't look like we're going to be till 5. So
No, it won't take that long,
Okay.
I promise. So again, this is just a request to start the rulemaking process for this. What this is you all remember that in the last legislative session, I had a bill that would allow us to fine, we put it together so we could fine illegal horse racing. So we have a company in the state right now that's operating, and they are taking wagers, and they are not licensed in Oregon, nor are they paying source market fees to our commercial track. We can't do anything about it because we don't have the authority. And I've been advised by our legal counsel that having this new statute is the only way to do it. So we put the statute together, and I didn't remember right at first, but then we were looking at, and it said, it requires us, we shall have model rules to accompany them. So these are just the rules. And again, we have the rulemaking process. We know that we're going to have a hearing and an advisory committee meeting on this. Frankly, I don't think that we'll get anybody who's going to be terribly interested in this, because it benefits everyone. I mean, our online wagering companies certainly don't want competition here who aren't paying their fair share. I don't think, I can't imagine that there'll be any sort of, but you never know. And we want to make sure, since this can have up to a $25,000 fine for each incident, that we've very clearly given the public to participate in it. So that's it. And I wanted to really make sure I covered everything in there, so we're in good shape. Any questions about those? I'm just going to call it Division 135 instead of bringing every one of them.
right, and all of those underneath are under that same division, correct?
Correct. All part of the
Commission-
same thing.
Commissioners, does that do you approve of that, or would you like each one of those things discussed at on a further level right now? Because we haven't made the rules yet, but it's at the beginning of the rulemaking process. What is your preference?
I would be in favor of
So-
just letting the rulemaking process go forward. I don't find anything too controversial in any of that.
Okay.
I would agree
Okay.
with Commissioner Barry.
Okay, thank you. So you have your work cut out for you, Micah and Karen and everybody else, and Director Nguyen. Do I have a motion to approve the rule, to begin the rulemaking process for the Division 135? The rules.
So
Is that
moved.
the proper division? Okay. So Commissioner Stein so moves. Is there a second?
No, that was Kinsley, but I'll second.
Oh, excuse me. Commissioner Kinsley, I was not looking at my computer. Moves.
But I'll
and-
second it.
Okay, and the Commissioner Stein seconds. Thank you very much. All those in favor, any discussion questions? Okay, all those in favor, either say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Or both. Okay, so the rulemaking process will begin. Do you have any estimate as to when the rules will be completed for our discussion?
We have a draft set of rules that are already in here that you can certainly look at now. They were in your
Mhm.
packet.
Yes, they
but
were.
we will be holding advisory committee meetings and hearings. We won't see anything in the September. I mean, we'll let you know if there's any updates between now and the September meeting, but it won't be until October until everything is done and we have a final. I don't know if there'll be a lot of change or not. Again, I don't expect there to be much back and forth on it, but you never know. Sometimes I have things that seem very straightforward that we end up getting a lot of information So
Okay.
I will be sending out, I've already got it preset in my out mailbox to automatically go out on September 1st, the invitation for the associations to nominate someone, because I'll be on vacation. I wanted to make sure that I kept that going. So all the associations will get that. Micah Lloyd will be sending invitations to the tribes and to the online wagering companies for participation from those individuals if anybody has any particular thoughts and would like to join us on those.
Okay,
So
fine, thank you.
all those are already tentatively scheduled, and Karen has all the information. I've already set up the links, the agenda, and everything.
Okay, thank you. I personally appreciate you keeping rules up to date and that kind of thing and keep looking at them so they don't all of a sudden come back and we say, why didn't we change that? You know, so I appreciate that very much. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the agency request budget, the ARB submission. Or do we have some? Oh, wait, take it back.
We have one
Um,
more role.
Oh, that's right. We go into the
IT
240s.
security standards.
Yes, the OAR 462 dash, this is for presenting for rulemaking, 240-0000 IT security standards.
And Chair, Commissioners, this rule we worked on a long time. Micah, thank you for your help on that. And this was partly based on comments from the GLI laboratory stating that, you know, they weren't sure that all the ADWs, this was a ARCI meeting, that all the ADWs were getting all the scrutiny they needed. And we said, well, if they're licensed with us, they certainly are, because we do all this stuff. So what we did was we put together model rules that the ARCI has already adopted with everything that we already do. And they're in their model rules, and it just doesn't make sense for them not to be in our rules too. So we're just, these are things that we've already done. And we actually think that having them in the rules is good for our online wagering companies too, because they can point to our rules and say, look at all the things that they do with us to strengthen our position as the regulating body for them. So with your permission, we already have the rules again, but we'll go through the process. I don't think that we need to do an advisory committee for that because we did so much already with the RCI, but we will have a hearing. If there's any concerns, we'll take our time to do more.
Okay, are there any questions on these before we make a motion? Any questions of the director? Okay, so we have a motion to approve a rulemaking on OAR 462-240-0000. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, so Commissioner Fowler moves. Do we have a second?
Second,
Commissioner Stein seconds. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye or raise your hand or both.
aye.
Aye.
Okay, it is unanimous. And so we have more rules to talk about a little later on. Okay, now we've got to discuss the review of Dr. Nguyen and the best practices. And
I'm a
we
doctor
received
now.
Did I say doctor? Oh, my heavens. Oh, director.
I like being a doctor. You can call me
Yes.
doctor, and then I can be Dr. Pepper.
Well, we've got so many doctors here. Yes, we've got so many doctors. And being a lawyer, you almost have a doctorate. So yes. Well, I'd have to have Doctor of Law. So anyway,
For the record,
discuss the
I
renewal
prefer
of.
Sergeant Pepper to Dr. Pepper.
Sergeant Pepper is fine. All right, so we're gonna go over the agency requested budget next.
Right.
Okay, so let me go.
Oh, yes,
go ahead.
I was ahead of myself again. Agency request budget.
Okay,
Director
so-
Nguyen.
Thank you, Chair. All right, so all of you should be looking at our budget, and our budget is, Karen, what is it, 165 pages altogether. It's pretty long, so I'm not going to take you through everything, but I do want to highlight a few things just to give everyone an idea of what exactly is going on and what we think is going to happen in the next biennium. First of all, we believe that we're going to start with a beginning balance of roughly $1.4 million. And then we go through what we think the revenue is going to be. We worked really hard, and I really want to thank Karen and Micah for their help on this, to pencil in exactly what we think it's going to be. And we believe that our budget next year, we believe that we'll bring in $13,430,000, which is very reasonable, especially when you look at the growth rate that we've had in past years, as well as the new business that we've taken on. Out of that, the general fund will take their 25% of the ADW money, and that's going to take $2 million out, which would leave $11,964,000 and change. Okay, sounds lovely. Then we go into our salaries and all the money we have to pay for personal services, state travel. They're all pretty low. And I'll explain why they're pretty low here in a minute. And we'll go all the way down. You're going to see a couple things to really pay out. Special payments is $3.216 million. And that's important because we gave out over $4 million in this biennium, which was quite a bit higher. So as it stands right now, we're going to have significantly less money. You're probably wondering, why are we going to have less money when we're making more money? It doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Okay.
So what is the definition? What is the definition of special payments?
Those are the things that go out to the industry.
Got it.
So the reason why is, even though we have all that money coming in, the total expenditures that the state is allowing us is $8,337,000. So they're taking $2 million off the top and saying you can't spend it. I think part of it may be because it's an election year, but we've been working really closely with the CFO to try to see if there's anything we can do. I've talked to the governor's office, and I kind of got a blank look about it. So I really do think it's more about the election year and trying to make sure that they have extra money sitting around than anything else. We are, however, with that said, we are asking that we can increase. They cut so much of our balance out last time. They cut $700,000 because we were losing Greyhound, and they didn't think we'd make the money we thought we would. And they didn't think we'd have the ending balance. But you can see we have a huge ending balance now, so it's not a problem. We have way more than we need for the ending balance. So we are going to go and try to get that extra $700,000 that we lost from this biennium. But as this stands right now, that's not going to help us. We're going to need more money in the next biennium too. So I'm still working closely to see if we can get that put in through there's three budgets. There's the agency presented budget. That's this one. Mm-hmm. And it's not really an agency because we gave them how much money we made, and this is what they came back with. So it's kind of an agency. And then there's the governor's budget. That'll be the next piece. And we'll try to work with the governor's office and see if there's anything we can do to make those numbers move. And then finally, there's a legislatively approved budget. So I may be asking, somebody who's a good negotiator, who maybe has a legal background, or maybe somebody who has some legislative background, or maybe both of them, to come down to those meetings to try to get the legislators, if I don't get to it before then, to understand why this is so important that we get some of those dollars released. Because otherwise, as of right now, before the session starts, we're going to have our grant money for the fair meets and for the commercial meet, and we won't be able to give them more than that $3.2 million. And even then, we're going to have a really tight budget. Okay, any questions on that?
Okay, any questions on the budgeting process? They say, this is the one that you present to the governor's office and so on, kind of pre-session budget request.
Yeah, this one goes to the governor's office, and the governor's office makes whatever changes they're allowed to. I don't know what that's going to be. And then they'll go to the legislator.
Right, okay. Any questions? Yes, Commissioner
I'm
Barry.
just wondering if Director Nguyen would like to speak to the economic impact of that money that goes back to the industry, because it sounds like a lot of money to give to the industry. So I think she should maybe speak to what we do with that money, what it does for Oregonians.
Right, and that's one of the
Thank you.
things that I did in Tillamook. We didn't have any commissioners at Tillamook this time, but I did have our CFO personally come out there, and I had her talk to so many people, and we really tried to hammer in why it's important. And she left saying this clearly is. Now, she's our CFO, so she's not the CFO. So hopefully she's able to carry that message back. Believe me, I'm doing everything I possibly can to try to get that message out. And I will also do that if it gets a legislator, I'll do it there too. So we're doing whatever we can. I'll also make a campaign. Once I find out who all the new legislators are, I will be knocking on their doors and visiting with each one of them next year. So they all know who I am, like it or not. Hopefully they'll like it.
Okay, that's your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions about the budget process at this point? It is early on and hopefully, I mean, it's going to go through a few stages before it finally gets to the end. But anyway, we appreciate you getting on that right away.
And it's not
Okay.
just our agency that's in this bind, just so you know.
No.
There are other
No.
agencies that are bringing money in who are also being told no.
Yeah, so that's part of the process. Okay, if there are no other questions, I don't see any hands up. The next thing we have is a public comment. And we'll have open up to public comment, and then those of you that are on the Zoom call, we will be going into an executive session after that. Director Nguyen?
We missed one more topic. My apology. Number 7.
No, it's my apology. See, what I did is my printer's not working, so I wrote it out the old-fashioned way.
Let's go.
Yeah, old-fashioned way. So anyway, now we have discussed the review of Director Nguyen and the best practices thing that we got on our email. Thank you for keeping me on task. Yeah.
So all of you, all of the commissioners have received our scorecard. You've gotten it in years past. Commissioner Kinsley, I don't think you were part of this process last year. I don't think you had come on. Everybody else has gone through this before. So take some time and think about that. And what we'll do is we'll have a public meeting in September where we'll discuss each one of those bullet points and, you know, where you think you are on it. And then you guys will, after that discussion, and your time to think about it now. I mean, you can pencil them in now. You'll submit to Karen your final scorecard, and I'll tally them up. And that will go in our best practices. I sent you guys a copy of where we are in the best practices so far. That kind of shows you that's one of the best practices that will be looked at during the budget process. They look at that and our animal welfare and medication violations, licensing, and customer service. I also sent you, just so you'll have an idea, a copy of our customer services responses. I was disappointed that we didn't get back as many this year. I was so proud of myself. I printed out a whole bunch of surveys in both English and Spanish and brought them to the jockeys. And we must have had 40 jockeys in Tillamook. I've never seen that many jockeys there. And I handed them to them. I said, please fill this out. And they just laughed at me and said, we're not going to fill that out. We just all put the same thing anyway. I'm like, I don't care. Just fill them out, please. So they sat there for 3 days and nobody filled one out. So I still, to this date, I have in the last 3 years, I have not had a single jockey fill one out. I guess if they were man enough, they probably would. I don't know.
Yeah. That may not be a bad thing. And I do, because Commissioner Kinsley, you haven't done this before, but I think it's really important with this best practices survey, because it gives us the opportunity to pass on what we think maybe one, what Director Wynn is doing very well, and two, maybe there are areas of improvement that would help our job along or
Right.
make sure that we help with the industry.
And
And I think
remember-
it's a good
Yeah.
form that gives a lot of detail.
And remember that form is evaluating you. It's a self-evaluation of the commissioners. Part of that is, did you do my
Right.
review, which we will do. And the review will be in executive session and you'll have an opportunity to talk to me. And I know I wrote down all the things I wanted to do this year. And I'll tell you right now, I didn't do them all. I wish I could have.
Yeah.
But I've been working hard on them. I'll address those next week or next month.
Okay, great. Next month. Okay, any other questions about the form that you have a copy of it? And we'll be talking about, and is there a deadline for us to fill that out or not?
We will collect them. We would like to collect them after the next commission meeting, so the day after the next
Okay.
commission meeting, because I have to have them posted by the 30th of September. You can just take a
Okay.
picture of it and send us a picture or, you know, whatever works best for you. We'll try and make it as easy as
Yeah.
possible. Hey, I'll drive to your house.
Yeah,
and pick
but-
it up, although it'd be a long
So I just
drive.
wanted to give a deadline, but the deadline is after we have our next commission meeting. So before the end of September.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Next thing we have on the agenda that I have written out is public
Oh,
comment.
wait, I noticed that
Wait.
Karen Parkman has a question.
Oh,
might
yes, I'm
be-
sorry.
Administrative related.
Just before we leave this subject, if it would be helpful to you guys, I could print hard copies, put them in the mail with a self-addressed, a return envelope to come back to me, if that would be helpful.
Yeah, who all
Actually, that probably would be a good thing. Just that way we've got,
wants
and
it?
I mean, I'm speaking for myself just because there's something wrong with my computer. And if I need to print something out, I have to go to the library. So, for me, that would be a good thing. And it looks like Commissioner Kinsley also wanted one.
Okay, I'll
We'll-
just
we'll
send
send-
one out to all of you, and it's a stamp. If I don't get that one back, that's fine. If you have a different way to send it electronically and you're good with that, that's fine too.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Karen.
Okay, so do we move on to public comment? And so we have public comment, and please, commissioners and so on, if you see hands up, please let me know, because I see no hands up so far with public comment. So those of you on the call, do you have any comments?
I don't think we've had a call without public comment forever.
I see no hands.
The greatest compliment that a public body can receive.
That's true. That's true. So anyway, okay. The next thing is we have no contested cases. But we are, as a group, going into executive session, and I'll read what the executive session purpose is. But commissioners, you have a different link, so you'll have to get out of this one and then go into the other link that Director Wynn sent you. And so that's the executive session, link that we've got. And then once we're finished, we will get out of that link, go back into this one, and this is for the people in the audience. And we're not going to be making any decisions, so it's more, we will come back into the general session to adjourn the meeting, to formally adjourn the meeting, okay? So, commissioners, have any questions before we go out and go into executive session?
You all should have gotten a link. If you need it, me to resend it, I'll gladly do that.
Can you please
Commissioner
resend me the
Fowler.
link?
I will resend everybody the link in an
Okay.
email right now. I'll see you guys in a
Thanks.
minute.
Okay, so we log out and then log in a different one. Okay, thank you.
2:30 PM.
Okay. Thank you. I think everyone's back on now. Is everyone back on?
Except for Commissioner Fowler, who has been excused. She had to play attorney.
Okay, that's right, because I see Commissioner Kinsley's on. What about Commissioner Barry? Maybe he has to work on. But anyway, just to get on the record is that we were in executive session and pursuant to ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub F, the commission will meet in has met an executive session to consider information or records that are exempt by law from public inspection under ORS 192.345 sub 2. The commission will also meet in executive section pursuant to ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub B to consider the dismissal or disciplinary or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent who does not request an open hearing. And so that was what we did in executive session. Okay, that is all that we have for the meeting. We are come back in, and so unless there's anything else that anyone would like to bring up, our
Well-
next meeting will be oh, yes, Commissioner Stein.
Well, yeah, I wanted to refer back to what I had asked in the open session regarding Monmouth and Saratoga, but if the answer is that HISA has not contacted the commission, I guess that's all the answer I would need. I don't know if you,
My good.
Okay,
Correct, Commissioner Stein. There's, the reports on any wagering that would have happened through any of our associates would have been actually processed through other reporting bodies. We're aware of the potential allegations of some interesting wagering that was handled at those tracks earlier this month. But we have not been, there's no request hitting this office regarding any further data.
okay.
okay. Dr. Stein, you got an answer? Okay, Commissioner or Director Nguyen? Hand up? Okay, the next meeting is going to be Thursday, September 17th at 1:30 remotely. Director Nguyen, have a nice vacation. We will be working very hard over here in your absence. Okay, anything else? We have a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Okay, Commissioner
second.
Stein moves to adjourn and Commissioner Kinsley seconds. With that, we are, all those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
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 Okay, we are adjourned. Have a good month, you guys. Thank you for all what you do. We appreciate it. Thank you.